So my name's Elizabeth Lumb. I'm an optometrist, and my current role at CooperVision is Director of Global Professional Affairs, and my key focus is the area of myopia management. Today's presentation centred around an individual called Dan. Dan is a hypothetical child who was diagnosed with myopia at the age of 7. And we followed him throughout the presentation, both in a single vision correction and a myopia control correction, and looked at those sort of key milestones along the way to understand exactly what life might have been like had he continued to progress without treatment, and what life would have been like in treatment. So the first key message is that if you are looking at a newly diagnosed myope, there is no sense in waiting to treat. You have to have those conversations. In fact, that's a direction from the College of Optometrists, ABDO guidance, AOP guidance. All of it leads towards a conversation and some proactivity in discussing what those options might be moving forwards. Myopia management as a treatment shouldn't really rest solely as a responsibility that sits with the eye care professional. I think this is one of those situations where the entire practice team can really play a significant part. So the dispensing opticians in practice might recognise those moments where those children might not be wearing their contact lenses, or they might not be wearing their glasses, and perhaps make some recommendations to what those next steps might be. Equally, contact lens opticians will be able to, again, understand the sorts of things that they want to find out from those individuals and make sure that they are wearing their lenses in the right way. And again, if they're not, what those sort of plan B options might be. So I think the flexibility to course correct is the responsibility of the entire practice team. That key question of adherence to the treatment protocol is something that we can all be involved in. Thinking about a child as they begin their journey in myopia, they've got a long sort of, progression track ahead of them. So what might be right at the very beginning of their journey as a 7-year-old is probably going to need to change as their habits change, as their lifestyles change, as their own motivations change, and perhaps even as their supervision from parents change too. So there are moments and key milestones along that journey where parents and the ECP and the child themselves might need to think about different options to make sure that they end up with maximum myopia control potential. So the audience voted for Dan to go into a myopia controlling spectacle intervention, which we had predicted. That's sort of reflected in some of the survey data that we've already sort of seen. But spectacle wearers don't necessarily find it easy to wear their glasses in the way that they are intended. So we're expecting a myopia control treatment to be worn full time, so all day, every day, from the moment those children wake up to the moment those children go to bed, which is quite difficult in a spectacle where some children may also not like wearing their glasses. So, but when they're young, they might wear them much more compliantly than perhaps when they are a little bit older, and they might push the boundaries a little bit. So it's those moments that we'd like eye care professionals to try and tease out and challenge and interrogate when those parents and families come back and see them on their follow-up visits. So I was first invited to present at 100% Optical back in 2017, and at that moment in time there weren't that many options available. Some eye care professionals were perhaps interested in the concept of myopia control and were using off-label interventions with an evidence base, but certainly nothing that was commercially available. It just goes to show how far this industry has come in the short space of time between 2017 and where we are today, and the narrative that supports that category and the changes that we have. We have far more interventions available, which is a fantastic way of being able to manage the significant growth in myopes that we're seeing both here and around the world.